Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining us into this webinar. I'm Miléna Laurent and today I'm going to talk to you about AI-powered video analytics on premises with Synology. I work as a product manager for Synology Benelux. Let's now see how surveillance is important nowadays to ensure safety. Data is growing every day, on a daily basis. Billions of files are being transferred and stored across various servers, most of which contain sensitive information. A potential security threat can result in cost of revenue, an intellectual loss, reputational damage, and other issues. Due to these probable threats, businesses and individuals have started to implement security solutions and protection policies to keep internal data safe. With an incredible 50% of companies having reported to have been victims of burglary, it is paramount to identify systems that discourage criminal activities. A surveillance system is a valuable tool for companies and individuals that act as a deterrent for theft and can assist you in loss prevention and safety. And in case of an intrusion, they can help you capture the reasons why or how a theft occurs, while also providing video evidence. Businesses without surveillance system are 4.5 more likely to be burglarized. But it is still quite complicated to choose a good surveillance system. Companies face several problems today. Companies need to implement surveillance systems to protect their offices and real estates. However, this is a process that shouldn't be taken lightly. Many companies don't realize until it's too late that there are many factors that need to be considered before implementing a system. One might think that you simply need to use the right cameras and position them in the right place, angles, to observe what needs to be observed. Yes, while this is obviously crucial to get it right, this consideration alone has made companies lose a lot of time, valuable data, and important information. When choosing a surveillance system, it is just as important, or maybe even more, to understand the backend, the software, and how convenient is the everyday use of it. There are many questions you need to ask. How are the cameras installed? Do you require professional assistance, or can you do it yourself? How easy and how long does it take to install a camera? This is an important question, especially for structures that require hundreds of cameras. And say you have hundreds of cameras, and yes, you've managed to install them. How can you operate them? Where do you store the recordings of every single one? And how long do the videos take to be formed and saved? And how convenient is it to access all the recordings and select to view specific timelines? These are factors that need to be accounted in advance, because if they are not efficiently handled, a lot of time can be wasted and crucial data could be lost. And then, if there is an intrusion, what happens? Okay, we got them on video, so what? What does your surveillance system actually do? A good surveillance system immediately notifies relevant contacts. It sends them alerts and thus maximizes the chances of a quick reaction. And then, which partner will you use? Are they easily combined with other ecosystems? Businesses need to be able to make their infrastructure evolve and not lock themselves in a limited environment. You would be surprised of the number of potential improvements we discovered when analyzing the infrastructure of our new customers, whether it is on-premises or in the cloud. For on-premises solutions, companies are often found to be tied to a brand. This leads them to become completely dependable on that brand and really limits the flexibility for improvements and changes. If, for example, better cameras or better and cheaper materials or software comes out, it becomes really hard to implement them on the existing system without completely revolutionizing your whole surveillance system. We spoke a bit of setup and management earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. here because we often find companies that are blocked and cannot modify their systems due to the fact that it's so complicated to manage. But even after the setup, who manages the whole system? This is perhaps the single most important part of surveillance system. How easy is it to operate it and find the information that you require? If you want to view a specific 30-second timeline, it is important to be able to easily find and manipulate the content. And another issue is that having all the cameras recording 24/7 generates very large files. This can get really heavy for companies that don't have the right measures in place, but furthermore, and perhaps even more importantly, it is crucial to be confident that the files are stored in secure locations, which brings me to the cloud. Cloud is often a solution for storing all data. Although you may have many guarantees and security measures by your cloud provider, data privacy is limited due to third-party involvement. And then, of course, many cloud solutions out there limit their clients into their very own ecosystem. Not only do they have to use a number of specific cameras, but all the file management and operations are done in-house. It may seem practical to only have to deal with one company, but it gets really complicated when an issue arrives with that partner, or if you want to evolve or modify your system. And finally, how much does a monitoring system cost? You've seen that I've added the icon of euros on sites and in the cloud. Without sufficient knowledge, it is easy to get carried away and invest more than you should for a solution that doesn't even meet really your needs. It can quickly become very expensive, especially for a small business that doesn't have the ability to have a large budget per month. On-premises solutions can become very expensive with all the licensing fees and software that manages the system. But so can cloud solutions with all the long-term subscriptions. With Synology Surveillance Station, we have analyzed all the above-mentioned points, and with them constantly in our mind, we have created a complete new version, Synology Surveillance Station 9.0. If you join the Synology ecosystem, you join an environment that is focused on simplicity. We have no licensing fees, but simply a one-time purchase model. We have a very affordable camera licenses structure with default licenses included right out of the box. We'll talk about the licenses in more details in the following slides. And additional licenses that can be purchased to add more cameras but remain completely up to you after the first purchase. We have a very large list of compatible cameras, which gives you great flexibility in choosing and building your infrastructure to suit your different requirements. We are compatible with more than 8,300 cameras, so you really have a very, very high level of flexibility, which allows you to modify your ecosystem whenever you want. Of course, we have total confidentiality for on-site storage. Let's now get deeper in Surveillance Station 9.0. What is exactly Surveillance Station 9.0? Surveillance Station 9.0 is an all-in-one video management system that brings together all the different cameras on your network and allows you to protect your premises and critical assets with a seamless surveillance experience. Surveillance Station converts your NAS into an NVR, a network video recorder for multiple security cameras. Some features have been refined to improve the user experience, and some others are new altogether. Improved features include the interface, with the dashboard being reviewed, the site and location management, and the camera setup. Let's dive into each one of them. The new and developed monitoring dashboard works by dragging and dropping camera views, and if a suspicious event occurs, you can simply click on a specific camera, which will bring you its timeline. From there, you can go back in time and review the recording to analyze suspicious events. Finally, for easier user experience, you can see we have optimized the interface with the dark mode. On this video, you can see the new interface and how it works. You can easily change the size and add new cameras. If we have an alert, you can put it in the foreground to monitor very quickly. And you can easily go back on the timeline as needed. We have a really customizable dashboard that gives us full management of the different cameras feeds directly on the interface with drag and drop and a few clicks on the mouse. And if you manage cameras of multiple sites. Monitoring has become even easier with Google Maps and OpenStreetMap integration. You can now easily integrate multiple locations and offices into your live view and receive detailed alerts outlining the exact location an event took place. This saves you a lot of valuable time and allows you to group your cameras easily and monitor multiple sites simultaneously, even if they are located in different places. And once you receive the alerts, you can easily create groups to retrieve camera feeds from different sites on the interface. Here in this video is how the notification alert work. You can view multiple locations simultaneously, and if motion is detected, you receive an alert detailing the location. Speaking of multiple sites, installing cameras onto the Surveillance Station 9.0 has drastically improved. The developed camera wizard feature gives you the possibility to import all at once. You can simply get an Excel file or a spreadsheet, put all of your camera parameters there, and upload them all in one bulk. This is a really handy feature for when you have hundreds of cameras that needs to be set up. You can also scan specific IP ranges for automatic camera setups, as well as copy configurations between installed cameras and new cameras. This new process allows you to deploy surveillance station at any scale. If you're a small business, you can easily manage your cameras, but if you are a very large company with hundreds or thousands of cameras, you can also very easily do it via Surveillance Station 9.0, and you can configure all your cameras at once. When managing multiple sites or multiple cameras at once, it is very important to be able to install and set up everything smoothly, easily, and fast. Synology has redesigned the installation process in version 9.0 Surveillance Station to make this task easier. If you're looking for more information on the basic functions on the Surveillance Station, we also have other webinars dedicated to video surveillance available on YouTube in several languages. So, these three existing features, the tracking system, multi-site management, and camera setup, have been refined to make the user experience even more intuitive. But new features have been added to take surveillance to the next level. New features include dual recording, C2 monitoring, and privacy mask and watermarks. Let's start with dual recording. Dual recording allows you to record videos in two different formats, in two different locations. Let's say you want to keep videos of certain events at a higher resolution. You don't want to record the whole camera stream in 4K. You have the option to record continuously in 1080p and to record a specific event in 4K. If you ever have an event that is detected, you have a better quality to analyze the video afterwards. So you can record twice using different settings to cover different use cases. Also, since you're recording videos to another folder, you can put these recordings on another NAS, which also improves security because you can have some events, recordings that are going to be stored on another NAS, that are going to be, for example, on another site. So even if you have a hardware problem on one NAS, you still have another NAS or another storage location that will hold all the records. This can also protect you against physical theft of your NAS. With an average burglary time of about 3 minutes, an experienced thief might be able to destroy your NAS that contains the video recordings. Synology and Surveillance Station 9.0 address this risk by performing dual recording. Dual recording allows you to keep a version of your files in case something goes wrong, which can be crucial in these moments. So, if our burglar comes in and takes our NAS, thinking that all he needs to get away with it is to take it, we will still be able to provide the necessary video evidence to the authorities. C2 Surveillance is a cloud space dedicated to your cameras. On this cloud space, you will have the possibility to record directly the stream of your cameras. Instead of recording only on your NAS, for example, you will be able to do dual recording both on your local NAS and on C2 Surveillance. Let's say your NAS is destroyed because of a fire, for example, or stolen. Since you also record all your camera streams on the cloud, you will always be able to recover them. So it gives you extra protection, and your recordings are stored on a space that will always be available. This cloud space has been designed to be easy to use. You have a smooth navigation, you have a quick access to your recordings thanks to Synology C2's powerful data centers, which you can view directly on the web interface. You can also instantly generate share links with a single click, which means that you can easily share videos, for example, to law enforcement or your insurance company. And soon the recordings will be protected by an additional client-side encryption key to secure them even if your Synology account password is compromised. Synology provides you with a cloud solution for dual recording. C2 Surveillance allows you to keep a remote copy of your recordings, enabling investigation even if your server is stolen or physically damaged. Another new and important feature is the addition of masks and watermarks. As you can see in the picture on the right, you can see the mask hiding the areas that need to remain off camera. The purpose of this mask is to protect the privacy of certain employees or areas. For example, imagine you are going to film the entrance of your building. You are not necessarily allowed to film what's going on in the streets, but it is still within the field of the view of your camera. So you can hide this public area and keep only the part that interests you and that belongs to you. The second feature is the addition of the watermark, which is an image or text placed on your recordings. This allows you to add your brand's logo to the video to protect your content and prevent it to be used without permission and/or in the wrong way. Surveillance System 9.0 is available on all NAS. Although the new updated version is already centered on security, Synology provides even more security features with the help of our DVA series. Synology Deep Learning NVR combines powerful video features with AI-powered analytics. It generates real-time statistics and alerts to act on issues immediately. You may be familiar with our DVA model released in 2021. It is an NVR dedicated to advanced video analysis. It is equipped with an Intel Atom processor and NVIDIA GPU and comes with 4 storage bays that can be expandable to 14. It can support up to 32 camera streams and handle 12 simultaneous DVA tasks. And what are these possible tasks? DVA, Deep Video Analytics, use artificial intelligence to not only record the footage from all the cameras, but also analyzes that footage, looks for people, movements, vehicles, looks for things that should be there and things that shouldn't be there. The advanced surveillance feature of our DVA include face recognition, people counting, intrusion detection, and people-vehicle detection. Let's start with facial recognition. Facial recognition is a feature that allows you to detect a person entering your premises and determine whether they are an unauthorized person, on a block list, or on a VIP list. Our DVA allows you to detect a person entering your location with an accuracy of over 97%. It's very easy to manage. Just create a database of faces and add different profiles. Creating the profile will require you to upload a photo and enter the person's information, name, a small description, whatever you want. You need to make sure you upload a clear photo with good lighting for best results. But once it is done, you can assign the profile to a specific group, allowed on the premises, blocked, VIP. But of course, apart from photos, you can create user tasks and databases directly from the people detected on the live recordings. You can again assign them to the group mentioned above, allowed, blocked, VIP. Facial recognition is used to send you alerts and notifications, precisely if a blocked or VIP person is detected in the cameras. For example, in a supermarket, if a blocked person is detected, the managers can intervene to accompany the people out of the supermarket. Or conversely, if in a nightclub, a bar, a restaurant, a VIP is detected, they will be alerted to go and welcome him quickly. Here is a small example in our office in Synology. We have people approaching and we will analyze their face and give them a name according to their status in our database. For example, we have a person who is approved, who can enter the building, a person who is blocked that just came on, and a person who is VIP just here. What is the people counting feature? People counting gathers accurate data with real-time enter, exit, and occupancy counts. Sensors count and monitor the flow and behavior of people visiting public spaces like airports, shopping centers, museums, and sport arenas, or offices, etc., etc. They gather data by counting the number of people entering and exiting these spaces and by measuring their actions and movements. What are the benefits of people counting? It allows you to safely evaluate the amount of traffic attending to an event or entering a store. Video analytics can confirm the success or failure of different events, such as, for example, promotional events, to understand what activities create more profits. And it can reduce labor costs in retail store by gathering data on when there is a higher influx of people. You can see people entering and being counted on this video. So they're entering and exiting the line of the camera. Another function of the DVA is intrusion detection. It is designed to send you alerts when a person or a vehicle crosses a virtual line that you have defined. You can see here that we have defined a virtual line on our barrier. And the camera has detected the person who has crossed it. Of course, it will send you an alert. It can be applied to public danger areas, office security, and all restricted areas. As for the other features, Synology has made the configuration of the intrusion detection very simple by just following the instructions to create a task. The tool will ask you to select a video source, which camera will be an intrusion detector. You can see here the person crossing the lines of the barrier. He has been detected, and you're receiving an alert. And then you can choose whether it will be looking for vehicles or people or both. After choosing your detection object, you will be guided to set up the detection area by simply placing lines on the view of your camera, as we have done here on the car parked and here on our barrier. So on top it detects vehicles, and below it detects people. This way, if someone enters your property, like this person here, you will be notified immediately. So as you already saw, you see the person entering, being identified, receives the alert, and you can act in the way you want. And conversely, if, for example, you're monitoring a highway, you don't necessarily need to know that there are cars on it because this is a highway. But if there is a person walking on the highway, you need to know that. So as you can see in this video, you can define an area and choose to detect only people or only cars. Similarly to face recognition, DVI allows you to build a database of all vehicles that should be in a given area, a parking, a private street, and notify you when it detects someone that shouldn't be there. If a vehicle hasn't moved for a while and has a plate that is unknown to the database, you want to be alerted in order to take the necessary action. The license plate recognition is available with the generic settings for the Benelux region. So, to recap all the different DVA features, face recognition allows you to identify individuals to improve the safety of your business. People counting counts how many people enter and exit your building or your store. Vehicle and intrusion detection features allow you to detect suspicious activities and receive immediate alerts. And finally, all these tasks are easily viewed and operated all at once on Synology's intuitive monitor center. DVA combines AI analytics with surveillance station to make it easier for you to protect your business. But how do you find and choose the right equipment for your surveillance need? There are several ways to approach product selection. Either you take a simple NAS and convert it to an NVR with surveillance station, or you can take a dedicated video surveillance tool like a DVA, which are specialized models in this field. If you want to use a standard NAS like an NVR, as an NVR, in order to choose the right model, there are several questions you need to ask yourself to better focus your needs. How many cameras will you deploy? How many hours per day will you record? And how long will the file be stored? What output do you want to have? What video format and what resolution do you need? How many frames per second will you shoot at? You see, there is a lot of information to consider. On our Synology website, we provide you with a tool that can help you find the right NVR depending on your needs. You simply need to input your surveillance requirements on our website, and it will provide you with a series of models. Your requirements can include the number of cameras needed, the number of days of storage, recording times, output, video format, and so on. Or, of course, you can contact us for advice on a model. There is a lot of information out there, so we have included a few models that we recommend. We start with simple surveillance system with a model capable of handling 12 cameras. The NVR 1218 has 2 bays and an HDMI output, which means it can be connected directly to a monitor to view the footage. Then we have another 2-bay model that can handle 25 cameras aimed at relatively larger structures. This is the DS220 Plus. Then, if you need more storage space and cameras, we move on to the DS920 Plus with 4 bays and a capacity of 40 cameras. And of course, if you are a larger business looking for more performance and more cameras, we've also got solutions for larger organizations like the RS3621 XS Plus, a 12-bay rack model that is ideal for managing multiple sites and can handle 90 cameras. So whether you have a small deployment or a large company looking for performance, you can contact us at bnl@synology.com to discuss your project. All of these products contain surveillance station with the feature of dual recording, mask, and the simplified dashboard. The second solution you have, instead of using a NAS as an NVR, we have product dedicated to video surveillance. We have recently released a new product, which is the DVA 1622. It actually has been released last Wednesday to be exact. So it is the DVA 1622, which is a model dedicated to deep video analytics, but which is intended for smaller structures or individuals. This model is more compact with 2 bays. It contains a dedicated Intel CPU with 6 GB of RAM. It can support 16 camera channels and is built with a native HDMI port for direct viewing of recordings. On top of that, it comes with 8 camera licenses by default. Of course, we already have another DVA model, the DVA 3221. So how do you choose the right one? We've prepared a little comparison for you. If we were to compare the two models, they can both undertake the same task and provide the same DVA functions. The 3221, however, is more suited to larger organizations, whereas the 1622 is more suited for smaller organizations. The 1622 is more compact, 2 non-expandable bays instead of 4 expandable to 14 bays for the 3221. The 1622 can support 16 cameras instead of 32. Less simultaneous tasks. As the 1622 is more compact, we wanted to incorporate an HDMI port so that we can directly monitor these cameras by plugging into them. This makes it an all-in-one solution. You don't even need a PC to manage the recordings. Both models come with 8 default licenses and have the same simple interface. You've heard me talk a lot about licensing. Surveillance Station is completely free. There is no software license for Surveillance Station. However, we charge according to the number of cameras that will need to be used on Surveillance Station. 1 camera stream equals to 1 license. So we have 3 licenses that are included by default. The Synology NAS have 2 licenses. The Network Video Recorder, or NVR, has 4 licenses included by default. And the Deep Learning NVR, the DVA, has 8 licenses available freely. And with these models, you can use as many cameras for free. If you want to go above these numbers of cameras, you will have to add additional licenses, of course. These licenses are are available individually in packs of 4 or in packs of 8. Please note that the 4 and 8 packs will always be used on a single NAS. It is absolutely not possible to split the camera licenses between several NAS. A pack can only be activated on one NAS. These licenses are permanent licenses. We do not have a subscription model. Once you have purchased your licenses, you have it forever. And you also have the option to migrate it from your current NAS to a new NAS. So if you need to change hardware, we'll help you migrate your licenses from a NAS to another. You've heard me talk a lot about licensing. Surveillance Station is completely free. And finally, before we get into the Q&A section, a small reminder on our newly released C2 Surveillance Services. It is one of our new cloud services and allows you to retain a remote copy of your security recordings, enabling investigation even if the recording server is stolen or physically damaged. C2 Surveillance provides an extra layer of protection by enabling simultaneous recording to the Synology C2 cloud. So, if your NAS gets damaged or stolen, with your cloud recordings, you can still have access to all your footage. C2 Surveillance comes in 3 different plans, which you can find on our website. C2 Surveillance is available in 2 different ways. The first one is the basic option, where we will record the camera feeds only in case of events, for example, motion recognition. The second option is the advanced plan, where the entire camera feed is recorded but accelerated to form a time-lapse. However, if events are detected, the recording will return to a normal speed. This allows us to have all the events in real time, but to keep the periods around the events accelerated if needed. For basic subscription, we have 2 plans. In the first one, we record the event in 720p and keep the file for 7 days. In the second plan, we record in 1080p and keep the files for 30 days. The advanced plan records continuously and in time-lapse at 1080p and keeps the footage for 30 days. So, if you have a camera with an advanced plan and we record for a day, we won't have 24 hours of videos. We'll have 30 minutes or an hour because all files will be accelerated for the periods where no movement is detected. We provide a free trial for C2 Surveillance, but again, if you need more information, you can contact us directly at bnl@synology.com. Thank you very much for watching. We will now open the chat to answer any question you might have. Thank you.